It was Monday, March 21, 2022. The streets of mid-city New Orleans moved at their usual pace, quiet, ordinary, and unaware. Linda Frickey had just celebrated her 73rd birthday a few days earlier. That morning she got dressed, grabbed her purse and headed out to run errands. She parked her silver Nissan Kicks on North Pierce Street, a quiet neighborhood road shaded by trees. Linda was a kind woman. She had worked hard her whole life, raised a family, and earned the love and respect of her neighbors. People described her as warm, generous, and always smiling. That year she didn't ask for much, just a small birthday cake, laughter with her husband, and a little more peace in her later years. But that peace never came. As she sat inside her car taking a phone call, 4 teenagers walked past her car. They weren't just walking by. They had a plan. They wanted her car. According to witnesses, the attack came out of nowhere. One of the teens opened Linda's door and sprayed pepper spray straight into her face. She screamed. The others reached in and began pulling at her. Linda begged them to stop. She reached for her wallet. She said, "Take it, take everything." But they didn't stop. 17-year-old John Honoré jumped into the driver's seat. He slammed the door and hit the gas. What John didn't realize was that Linda was still tangled in her seatbelt. The strap had caught her and dragged her out of the vehicle. As the car sped off, Linda was pulled down the street. Her clothes ripped. Her arm was torn off. Her body rolled across the pavement. Her screams were heard half a block away. People ran into the street, waving for the car to stop. But no one slowed down. By the time the vehicle finally came to a stop, Linda Frickey had died on the road alone, in pain, and only minutes away from home. Just days earlier, Linda had been alive, happy, and surrounded by her loved ones. Her husband had surprised her with a small cake. They sat together talking about how fast time had flown by. She didn't ask for much. No party, no gifts. Just peace. And that's all she wanted that afternoon. Instead, she was met with violence. The teenagers who attacked her were all between 15 and 17 years old. John Honoré, 17. Bernia Baker, 15. Lenora Theophile, 15. Markel Curtis, 15. They had no connection to Linda. They didn't know her name. They didn't know who she was. And in that moment they didn't care. The peaceful stillness of a sunny New Orleans day was shattered. A simple phone call, a parked car, became the beginning of a nightmare that no one could have expected. New Orleans had seen violence before. But this was different. Linda's death didn't happen in the shadows. It happened in broad daylight. On a quiet street. In front of homes. While neighbors were watching. One witness said, "She was screaming for help. Then I saw her body rolling behind the car." Another said, "I tried to chase them. I ran after the car. But they were already gone." Shortly after 1:30 p.m., calls to 911 flooded in. Police arrived minutes later. Linda's body was found in the street. Her arm had been torn off. Her shoes were missing. Her purse was still sitting in the car seat. It didn't take long for investigators to check nearby security cameras. What they saw was clear. 4 teens, 3 girls and 1 boy, moving fast, laughing, jumping into Linda's car, then driving off. By that evening, police had names. And before midnight they had arrests. All 4 teens were found together. They didn't run far. They didn't hide. To the community it was a small relief. To Linda's family it was not enough. Inside the courtroom things felt even more painful. One of the teens smiled for the camera. Another laughed. There were no tears. No visible remorse. People in the gallery whispered, "Do they even care?" That question would hang over the entire trial. And for Linda's family the pain had only just begun. In January 2024, the jury returned its decision. John Honoré was found guilty of second-degree murder. But under Louisiana law, because John was 17 at the time of the crime, he could not be sentenced to life without parole. The court gave him the maximum sentence allowed by law, life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Linda's family didn't cheer. There was no celebration. Her sister stood and said, "You'll wake up every day. But Linda won't. Not ever again." John's defense team filed an appeal. They argued the sentence was too harsh. They asked the Louisiana 4th Circuit Court of Appeal to review it. In May 2025, the court denied the appeal. The sentence stood. John would remain behind bars. But the story didn't end there. Linda's case reached lawmakers across the state. The brutal nature of the crime and the age of the offenders sparked a wider debate. Should teenagers who commit violent crimes face the same punishment as adults? Some lawmakers said yes. They began drafting new bills to allow longer sentences in cases like Linda's, even for teens under 18. Some people supported it. Others said young people still need room to grow to change. And that long prison sentences don't always lead to justice, only more pain. But there was one thing everyone agreed on. This case had changed how people saw justice in Louisiana. And far beyond. A woman lost her life. 4 teenagers lost their freedom. And an entire city was left wondering, was justice truly served? Some people say no. They believe that Linda Frickey died in a horrible, painful way and that the punishment should reflect that, no matter how young the offenders were. Others look at the teens and see more than a crime. They see kids. They see mistakes made in a moment that can't be taken back. Science tells us the human brain, especially the part that controls decision-making, isn't fully developed until the age of 25. But what does that mean when someone has already taken a life? Should we treat teenagers like adults when they commit adult crimes? There are no easy answers. Some families want closure. Some believe in second chances. Some feel both. But when a life is taken and another is lost behind bars, what does real justice look like? Is it a prison cell? Is it the hope of rehabilitation? Is it a future where someone says, "I'm sorry," and truly means it? Linda's family will never hear her voice again. John Honoré and the others will never be teenagers again. And for the rest of us, this case is a reminder. Sometimes, one moment is all it takes to change everything. Now, we want to hear from you. What do you think? Was justice served? Or is there more to this story than just a sentence? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more real stories told with honesty and respect, subscribe to Wednesday Crime Gist right now. Your voice matters. Your thoughts matter. And the next story might just change how you see the world.